This was really a death sentence back then. But people thought it was a particular disease for gay people. I was Elizabeth's hairstylist back then, and it pushed all her buttons. She was horrified by it.
We went to Bangkok, and one of the things that she wanted to do quietly was visit patients in a hospital. And I remember going to the hospital, and somebody got a shot of it through a window. She was very mad about it at the time because she was concerned about protecting the identity of the patient. I do believe actually it was a good thing, just being photographed, touching people who had AIDS. It made people more compassionate about patients, and I think that was a really important contribution.
We knew that 10,000 people had died of AIDS, and something needed to be done. And Elizabeth said, we're going to Washington.
Someone of some power needed to be vocal. Hey, you guys up there, you really got to start putting more money into HIV.
She sort of understood DC and how it worked because she'd had that experience living there with John Warner, and she knew that people would respond to her.
But Ronald Reagan still had not called attention to HIV. And it was clear that she was getting a little bit annoyed. And then the word got out that one day she just said, okay, Ronald, enough is enough. You've got to get out there and talk about it.
He was the president of the United States. He had to acknowledge that this epidemic was going on.
Elizabeth had invited him to a dinner. And there was a lot of fraught anticipation in the room because this was the moment people had been waiting for, you know, a signal, right, that he was going to do the right thing.
I want to talk tonight about the disease that has brought us all together. AIDS affects all of us. America faces a disease that is fatal and spreading, and this calls for urgency, not panic. It calls for compassion, not blame. And it calls for understanding, not ignorance.
Finally, he said we need to do something and created a commission to take a look at what the government could do better. So that was a big deal.
If you look at the AIDS funding from between that year and the next year, it went up significantly. And you know that's because of her influence on him.